Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Collier. I'm the city manager for the city of Whittier. Appreciate you being here this afternoon. Just obviously, we're out here because of this horrible situation that occurred, and it's a real tragedy, and our hearts go out to the family and their loss. And we obviously are praying for them and for those family members that were injured, and looking for a speedy recovery for them. As we've been going through this process, we have an arborist that has come out and is conducting an investigation on this. That investigation is ongoing. It's not completed, but will be completed over the next several days as they go through and not only investigate and look at this particular tree, but also look at the history of maintenance of the trees and pruning schedules and so forth. We have obviously a number of potential factors that could have played into this. We did have rain, which we haven't seen in quite some time. We have the drought conditions that have occurred out here, and we did have some heavy winds that occurred on Friday night. And those are all possible contributing factors, but we don't know, and we'll allow the arborist to make those determinations based upon the completion of the investigation. We'll also be looking at the other existing trees in the park to assure their safety. We have an ongoing maintenance program where we have personnel in our parks on a daily basis. But until we actually complete that review, we're going to keep the park closed. Once we complete that investigation and inspection of the trees and then remove the debris, we'll be able to reopen Penn Park, and we're looking forward to getting it open. Penn Park is one of our premier parks. It's a very popular location. Many people come here for family photographs or wedding photographs, and it's a very desirable location. So we want to have that open for the public again as well. And so at this point, that's all the statement that I have at this point. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we'll be planning on providing an update tomorrow, probably around noon.
Is there a ballpark estimate for how long that will take to reopen? I mean, we're looking at 2 days, we're looking at 2 weeks.
We would anticipate probably within the next several days, hopefully by the end of the week on the outside would be our hope.
Mr. Collier, until this happened, has there been any history here of trees falling or in any kind of danger after either a rainstorm or a windstorm?
I believe I'm aware of only one case where we had a tree branch come down. I believe that occurred several years ago after a storm. I'm not aware of any other instances at this location.
Never a full tree.
Not a full tree, not to my knowledge.
And these trees were inspected how? Every week, every other week,
every
month?
We have a regular maintenance schedule where we have our crews come in and they do pruning on a scheduled basis. We also have personnel that are trained that are in our parks on a daily basis that look at our trees. We also have additional certified arborists on our staff. I believe we have 3 certified arborists on our city staff that also manage not only our park trees, but our city street trees.
So there was nothing at all. I mean, even after the heavy rainstorm and the pretty good winds, there was nothing at all that anybody in the city or anywhere said, hey, maybe we better go look at some of these trees.
No, we always are out in our parks and looking at our street trees and our park trees regularly. We were, again, not seeing anything out of the ordinary at this particular location or other locations. Obviously, this is a freakish accident and something that we hate to see happen. We know occasionally after a storm we may have some tree breakage or limb breakage, but something like this, to have an entire tree go down like this, is very, very rare.
So someone was here either that Friday or that Saturday, because the rainstorm was Thursday.
Yes, we had personnel in our park here, and they're here every day.
So someone was here Friday or Saturday looking at that tree?
Looking at all of our trees.
And found nothing?
Did not.
And Saturday during the day, earlier in the day?
I'm not sure what time they were here in the morning. I know that, but I'm not sure exactly what time.
And they didn't find any problems?
We did not see any issues at that point in time.
How is it inspected? Do they just come out and look at it?
Again, they're looking for if there are any leaning trees or if there are any obvious broken limbs that may be hanging down that could potentially come loose. They're looking for those basic items. We also, as I say, go through a regular maintenance schedule where we will prune these trees on a regular basis every several years. They're on a schedule and we look for their structural stability at that point in time and make sure that they're in good sound condition.
Do you have any insight from them on knowing when they're here on days like today? They were here earlier, one of the arborists or multiple. What exactly they're looking for in this aftermath? Have they kind of conveyed any of that to you as far as what do they look for?
I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure that they're going to be looking at a variety of things. Were there disease factors with the tree in any way, shape, or form? Were there issues with this soil or the root system around the tree? Oftentimes, when we do see a tree fails, there are occasions where there may be actually disease or rot inside the tree that isn't visible from the outside. So they'll be looking at all those kinds of factors, I trust. I'm not an arborist, but I understand that those are the kinds of things they'll be looking at.
Do you have any disease-ridden trees here that have to be taken out?
Not that I'm aware of.
And what are you going with? How many people were injured? Was it 6 adults?
I think there were the one deceased and 5 additional individuals, is my understanding.
5 injured, 1 getting hit, 1 cut.
Well, I think the child is one of the 5 injured.
You notice the sign that permits are required for the park. Do you have any insight that this family had a permit?
My understanding is they did not have a permit. However, our personnel is on site until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if someone came in after that, we wouldn't have an enforcement. So that wouldn't be necessarily an issue precluding them. But no, there was not a permit in hand for their shoot.
But was this an official shoot, or was this just an impromptu? Some people just take pictures?
They didn't have a permit, but I trust that they probably scheduled it since it was tied to their wedding. But again, we don't have anyone here to enforce that.
And it's been ruled an accident at this point. You call it an accident, right?
Pardon?
They call it an accident.
Definitely, yes. Any further questions? Okay, thank you very much. And again, we're going to plan on providing an update at noon tomorrow out here. If that's agreeable, I'd be glad to answer any questions at that time.